Yeah, this row we have, it starts with the lowest number in the inside of the row. So I'll go down.
So, how many? 10.
How far that is.
10. Judy's asking how many we have.
How many?
What are you asking? How many what?
Do you have the results on the website?
No, this is the number of
Things
batches.
that we print out the results.
There's actually
the press bulletin.
656 batches.
The full results
there's
of the batch by batch results?
Batches, so this is the number of boxes.
So I can download them?
Yeah, it should be on our website.
I'll check.
This is by precinct.
Right. And you,
Oh, this is the
Maria,
report
Maria.
by precinct.
Tim,
Yeah.
you want to
precinct in the batch.
Let's.
Once we
maybe 100,
select the
maybe 100
actual
would be
numbers, then they'll actually
Wait,
run
what
a
you using?
report by box.
Oh, I'm sorry, you filming right now?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I was just curious what your rig was. I thought you had like using a cell phone rig before.
I do.
The box of the batches is like
Since they're starting already,
I was just curious. I saw your camera in the building. I was looking for a new camera myself recently. That's why. Oh, let me see what Ray's
pretty
filming.
good one.
So once
I don't know.
It served me well, but you know what, they still are not
yeah, we tell
very good at
vendor what we
doing
need
live
and they
streams
still put it
through
inside.
this type of camera.
I'm looking. Yeah, I'm looking like at a new mirrorless, like the vloggers are starting to use and stuff.
You know,
elections, now everything.
You can go over there.
Yeah. Even my GoPro now I can live stream using my GoPro connects to my phone. Oh, you're gonna live stream right now?
but I'm trying to get the report.
What do you want?
Let me get out of your way. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
My worry.
we need to,
Take
Those
it down
files
there.
get transferred into a white box with a blue stripe that were transported.
we need to
from
tape it,
Western
Maria, the tape is
to
next
the
to you,
county
Maria.
center, which
And
is
where
there.
is the,
But we
yeah,
checked the last
next
box.
to that one.
We're
You have a-
dividing into
Yeah,
the
Maria,
county
that's
box,
the first one.
which is a brown box.
Is it go to the front?
Up to about 1,000
Okay.
ballot cards
Excuse
per
me,
box.
excuse me.
Are these the batch
That
numbers?
equals a batch.
These will be the batch
Yes,
numbers
yes,
that we select.
Yes.
Okay, I don't have the, I don't see the batch report here. They have
Is numbered.
vote totals for each
Okay,
candidate,
go ahead.
totals for each contest,
Now,
totals for each
With the
precinct,
BMD,
and summary
they
dates.
started the number.
Which one is the pre- batch report?
Well, for the BMD,
But basically.
we have a box number that we got from the report.
They started from number
Not so much the report,
0
from the
and then had 600.
manager over that section, the tally section, and it was a total of 656 boxes.
With
for
a
that.
1,000 ballot cards.
So we're gonna do 656 tickets.
But what I need is the
What is
report of the totals of
What
each
is
batch.
655 pounds?
So I know that the
They
totals that
start
we're gonna be
with the
looking
first
for
box
after
of
we draw
1,000
these.
BMD.
Get that before the draw.
It comes from
I don't want you
the
drawing
family,
anything
the
before I
voting
get the
center.
report.
Yes.
So, some of them are over.
Sorry.
11 days.
Is it clear?
By precinct
Okay.
of 1,316 pages, right there.
I know, well, I wanna get it downloaded.
Zero from where
Yeah, we should do 100.
From the very first night on the 22nd,
They're
we
not-
opened it up that night, those
Apparently not
ballots were
able to answer this question about
Okay,
that.
okay.
Am I not making myself?
Oh,
I want to know how they number,
Just need a little bit about tabulation.
do the numbers come,
And,
if one place, the 240 are open for 20,
okay, so
then, you know,
The number of days doesn't matter. We
Yeah, that's a
started
0,
on February
That's
22nd.
I don't
no
know,
think of it,
but
but, yeah,
the
yes.
numbers are from number 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
Yeah,
This will be
that's
the
what
the answer.
we
Yeah.
This is
This is the
It's
preliminary.
not-
Approximately all
it's
the
not
batch
being
numbers?
referenced.
What is it based on? That's what I'm asking.
Accumulation of
they're
1,000
not
ballot
precinct
cards.
numbers, they're just
So it
sequential
doesn't
number of
matter
boxes.
from where they come.
That is correct.
It's just kind of like a, it's
So they
similar
basically
to what
already
you
ran
would
the
call.
box.
You can do the 400.
Okay, so what, how are you going to relate that
Of
in
boxes,
to
which
the
can have various
precinct?
amounts of
It does not.
We don't need
We're
to
doing this
Yeah,
based
tape
on
it,
batch
tape it,
report.
tape it.
All we're giving is the
Tape it.
manifest right now. Not even that, but we
Just
don't
give
give
us a
For
proposed
now, because we don't have it by box
These
results.
don't
We
show
did bring
the batch by batch.
but we don't have it by box results.
Okay,
And you did ask for it as well, so we'll do that.
that's from
From
the
the government.
right, so, and how many batches are there for the absentee vote?
For vote by mail, there were 1,332.
And those are again without in each batch.
That's correct.
This should be 400.
Okay, we started with the BPM here.
What is
So the precinct report actually is the accumulated, where the votes are tallied.
Yes.
So we have a record of it.
We have a record.
Hello.
Hello again, how are you?
Okay, so I'm trying to get off the website. I understand that these are the numbers of the batches. This is kind of like what they call
Yeah,
the
what is going to be turned over?
manifest would be how many ballots are in each box.
It was going the other way.
What I would like to get
I
is
thought
the
where it
draw.
was. It was
Is what is the total vote count for each contest in each batch? That is the report. Say this is a batch, such that once you pull this out, you gotta go to the computer, right, and get a report. You can compare with the.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the number
That
We don't
report.
have the report, so we're
Why
going to
not?
continue with the random selection. I believe the
By
you already
the
contacted
I
the
contacted,
county.
and last year I complained about this.
Yeah,
And so you're gonna do
And you're
it
going to 13.
even though you know it's wrong.
it's not wrong.
Here, wait, I wanna get this on film. So I wanna make sure I understand exactly what you're doing. So let me interview you here. Okay, so, hello, I'm Ray Lutz. What's your name?
Letitia.
Letitia, nice to meet you. Okay, so we're sitting here in Los Angeles. You're about to do a random draw of batches.
That's correct.
Now, in the past, you used to have a report of every precinct, precinct by precinct, the totals, before you pulled it. You had that both for the in-person precinct ballots and also the vote by mail ballots, because you sorted them by precinct. And I could get that report.
Right now, the SVC, correct.
Now you have a new multi-million-dollar system that you just installed, and you're telling me you can't make a report of each one of these batches that you're about to audit, is that right?
We do not have the box results report. We still
Why not?
have the
Why don't you have it?
SVC.
Why don't you make the report?
We don't make that report
Why
before
not?
we do the random selection.
Why not? Why don't you make the report?
He
I'm
wants
not
to
gonna
change
argue.
the law.
No, I'm
and that's-
asking you the
that's
question.
law.
Why don't, no, excuse me. Why don't you make the report before you do the draw?
If you would like to talk to someone else about that, you can.
Well, you don't know why?
In the elections code, can you say where we have to do that?
Well,
I think in your letter, you
Yes.
said in there that it's not illegal, right? Did you bring your letter?
is it illegal?
I'm sorry, Mr. Litz, did you bring your letter?
Is
I
it-
would like to address your letter
Yeah, so you're,
that says that you understood that it's not illegal what we're doing. All we're doing today is a random selection. If you do have other questions, we can route that up. That way you can get the answers that you're looking for.
oh, you did get my letter.
We got the letter.
Okay,
Yes.
so you're saying that you think it's a good idea not to provide the report because you
I
say
can't
it's
say
not,
what my-
you're not required to do it by law, and so you're not going to.
I can't say what my good idea is. We're following the elections code. And the elections code says that today we're doing, and we put up the notice
But
today
my
that we're doing
request
the
was in
random
advance
selection.
to provide this report. I can ask a question under the election code, and you're required to give me an answer.
I'm not required to give you an
Yes,
answer right now.
that's under section, what, 203, it's a Voters' Rights
I'm
Act.
not required to give you an answer right
Right
now,
now.
because today we're doing the random selection.
But you're saying you, even though I asked in advance over a year ago of saying I needed this report to do my oversight, I can't do my oversight unless I get this report.
Well, you can route that up if you would like to.
Route it up.
Yes. Who did you provide the letter to?
I've even talked to Mr. Logan about this.
Okay, I'm not Mr. Logan, I'm just
Okay.
here doing the random selection.
Okay.
We did
But could
post
you
the
get the
notice.
report? Could your voting machine make the report if you wanted to?
Make the report
Could you
before the
make-
random selection?
Yeah, why don't you make a
We're
report of
not
all the
able to
batches?
provide the report before the random
Why not?
selection.
Why can't you do it?
So the tickets are ready now?
No, I'm asking, I want my questions answered before you do the draw,
these
because
Actually,
this is
it's
critical.
Okay.
I've
You
waited
don't
here
have
for
to-
2
there's
hours.
no-
I
there's no
waited
reason to be
here
upset.
for 2 hours, and I don't want to rush this
I
now,
thought this was
because you
Wait,
think you don't want to answer the
wait.
Wait,
question.
I'm sorry, do me a favor, I can hear you guys all the way down the hall, listen to what everyone says.
Okay, so
This is the
let's not
vote by
rush
mail,
this.
that's when
We've been
those
waiting
done.
for 2 hours, and I want to get my requirements handled before we get into this.
No, he's the.
Okay, I'm glad you did bring up the Voters' Choice or the Voters' Rights Act.
Yeah.
Because
The
also
vote by mail
says
will
that
be
if
the
it's interfering with us being able to
This
continue
has
with our
nothing to
work.
do with voting.
So right now, I'm letting you know we need to
I
start.
waited for 2 hours.
You're correct, so we would
So
like to go
let's-
ahead and
no,
move forward.
please, I want to try to get this
Thank you,
question
Mr. Lush.
answered.
I'm gonna go ahead and let my
So we're gonna
staff
use
continue with this
00.
process.
I know.
I'm not
but
stopping.
there's 650
I'm not stopping. Wait.
Plus
I'm just talking to you. I'm not
Okay, you're not
stopping.
holding me either, right? Okay.
Well, can I
Thank
talk
you.
to you though?
What's the mapping?
And if not you, can I
I'm
get
sorry,
someone
you
else?
said you wanted to interview me, and I
Then-
provided you with your
Can I please get your
responses.
supervisor there?
Sure.
Bring the supervisor.
I'll contact the supervisor, you please
And I
continue
want
with
this not to
process.
continue until I get my questions answered, please.
She
Well,
has
go
to
ahead.
continue,
Yes.
but I'll get a supervisor for you.
No, she doesn't have to continue. This could take as long as it takes. We don't have to continue until this report comes out. Because this is all fraudulent unless we get a report out ahead of time. What you're doing will just cover it up. This is a completely fraudulent activity, what you're doing here.
Okay.
No one can tell that anything is right unless you give us a report in advance.
You can just tell him that. You can just let him know.
Right, I'll be-
It's worth asking if, when they will make the batch report, are they gonna make the batch report for all batches or just the selected batches? I'd be interested.
I've never seen a batch report at all, ever. So they could just make up the numbers and say that they're right. There's no way we know if the random manual tally is correct unless you provide a report, and it should be given
Actually,
in
it's called a
advance.
manual tally, and you'll know when you come to the manual tally that happens on Fridays. So if you would like to come watch the process, it's actually just showing that random 3 people manually tallying the votes, that it matches the system. So we
Oh,
haven't
it matches
started
the
the manual
system.
tally yet.
Matches
So-
what about the system? What about, what
Right,
is
and
the
that's a
system that it
report-
matches?
Report of the totals from the boxes that are selected, right?
That's correct, but the staff doesn't know, so they're going to be manually tallying, so it's gonna be the
Right.
tally against the report.
Where is this report? Where is the report?
I'd like to ask.
Okay, sorry, you go ahead,
The
Harvey.
reason why you don't want the batch report is so that the audit is, or the manual tally is blind, that the officials don't know what the results are when they're doing the manual tally?
We are blind in this area in Canvas, who actually do the auditing, so we're not a part of the tally operation. We're separate from that.
Right.
So the only reason why the report is not here is just because it's so large to be able to do the entire county in each batch. Because remember, those BMD ballots are coming from anywhere in the county. So there is no more precincts, it's every precinct in one
So
box.
there's 1,300 pages right there. What is that report? Is that,
This is by, our typical SVC is available right now by precinct, what the results are, which are the summary.
is every
We
contest?
always provide that,
Every
yes,
contest in
Every
every
contest.
precinct?
in every precinct,
For
break it out
election
by
night
precinct,
only.
up to election night.
Up
Yeah.
to, there's a cutoff for this process also.
That is
right? And
correct.
After that, it won't be in part of the 1%.
Correct.
Right.
That's
So
always been that way.
this, yeah, so this, is this helping to define what is the cutoff point? What is in the, in and out, what will stay inside?
That is correct.
We can start
Well,
hearing them
this
now.
doesn't seem
Yeah,
to
go
provide
ahead
any
and
totals
start-
at all. This
You can
doesn't
go ahead
provide
and
any
start
totals at all.
separating the tickets.
Okay, she's not gonna even answer any questions. This doesn't provide any totals of any contest. This report does not.
Yeah, let's go to the fair
What are
enough.
these right here, sub-precincts?
There's no contest on here. This is not what you said.
No contest.
This does not provide any results of any contest.
The SVC is available online.
Okay, but not this, this is not what you, this is just a total of,
This is of just of the precincts of the contest.
no, it has no contest.
Count of the cards that are from the
That's correct. That's correct.
Oh, if I put two together.
We're definitely gonna have to get the law changed because what you're doing is just kind of waste. It looks good if you're not aware of what it should look like.
That's correct. But literally each box is like the entire county being printed.
Every time, yes, I know it's a big pile.
Right. So the data for every box
We
is
should have the scissors to cut this. I have it, I have it.
I know you did.
I have it.
So they create the batch reports, they probably haven't done it before, because they haven't.
We did do
audited
it
like
last,
that. Oh, you did?
we did last November.
When they made the batch reports, for the purpose of what they made the batch reports electronically for all of the batches, those are the batches that were in the select for the audit.
Correct. Just for this, like for the audit. Mhm.
So that could be a way to sort of target what we are talking about, we're going to produce batch reports electronically for all of the batches. That would help him, I'm sure. He wants it now, it's another aspect of it, which I think is really expected. Getting all the batch reports would be a big step up.
It's huge, right? We don't have them ourselves at all, so, and it takes a long time for them to be able to pull up that report. We have to create the huge tally sheets that put every single candidate within that contest. So let's say for a presidential,
It doesn't automatically format
no,
like another reporting system from a typical manufacturer would have that set up so you can just put out the report by batch or by
Yeah.
precinct or by district.
Mhm.
So this one you use the hand, create the format, and display it. That would be good. That report is contacting revenue is-
Karen, that's so some of us can do some.
where they're conducting some of the fraudulent manual tallies, because they won't
Thank
have
you.
any reports ahead of time. They're gonna choose these and apparently come up with the reports later.
and I understand that a lot
So
of
we're
people
not gonna be
have
able
issue
to
with
have
thinking
any frozen reports
somehow
ahead
we're
of time.
going
This
to
means that any insider can
match
change
up
the
something
results
to the.
of the tally of the
When we match up, we
computer
have
report to match
temporary staff,
the
who have to manually
balance.
do
So
the
we don't have any kind of good
for each
check.
one of the votes that they determine is yes
Everything
or
you
no
see
on the
here
vote.
today,
For us
we've
to
got
have
all
to
these
match
little
up,
views.
make sure.
No. We're gonna put them
all
into
1,332
a,
boxes.
we're gonna put them into this carousel. But really, this is all just for show, because without a report in advance,
I don't
we're
know
not
what
gonna
the manual
know
tally is
that
gonna be, but
they just
so it's
don't,
gonna be
in the back room, pick the report for the ones that they choose to match the ballots and just change all the rest of them.
That's very difficult.
So, you know, they say this is not part of the election code, that they have to provide a report ahead of time, and that they only have to do what the law says. But, you know, we've gotta put a stop to this sort of charade that's going on here in Los Angeles. Without the report, we have no way to know that what they have
They don't even have
is
the,
correct.
they don't have the computer results.
So everything that you see here is putting the coupons and the little bin and so forth is all just worthless without a report in advance of what the totals are.
Also, the positive argument of providing the report, but not to the people doing the end.
So the trouble is here is that not everybody
This is
understands.
gonna be for select.
Excuse me, is this someone's laptop? We need this, is this your laptop?
Yeah.
Yeah, we need that move, you can put that over there and I'll take.
Okay, well, they decided that I'm gonna answer my questions. They're gonna just proceed with this parade.
Once, and I'm gonna put it here, that we can, and then I'll put some pen.
Digitally sign it before you.
This is one of the reasons I have real doubts about any kind of risk limit audits. Because you have people in these counties that don't even take the first steps on just generating a report.
Go the other
With
way
their
too.
incomplete report,
Both ways.
even if
Oh, the handle
they
is
did
gone?
generate it, because it doesn't include all the balances.
The problem, you know, you want it,
Possible to produce.
that's the one that dropped.
And this is one of the reasons that you gotta have validated
That's, yeah,
audits.
for
Gotta
one
get
selected
images
one.
of the ballots and recount them ourselves, because all of these audits that they have.
That's right, for that
Just
one, they have
you.
two.
They're not
And then
auditing it. And you'll notice in great theater that they have here with this little,
I'm used to watching movies.
Say, instead of us doing that.
mill that they turn around with the,
They do it in the tickets.
Okay, so
looks really good and a lot of people have been looking for it for years.
for the BMP, 656 batches, and if you do the math on that, 1%, that would be 6.56. So we're gonna do 7, which will be great.
So assume that you have,
Yeah.
assume that you have inside.
Picking 7 tickets.
What
No,
you
there's
do,
seven
all they have to do is, once they choose it,
Open it, you get to go
all
first.
they have to do is go
And
back to
these
the
numbers
computer report,
coordinate
make it
with
match
the batch.
whatever it is. No, the ballots would match.
We're gonna use the first 3 digits,
And
last 3
they
digits.
match up.
Yeah, I know. I've been doing this since
Ballots.
2004.
It has something to do with the fact that
Once
there's,
you have enough there.
Just look at the paper, they can't be sure that the paper.
So unfortunately, we have,
Yeah, I think
sometimes
that's-
people don't understand the difference between you act like everything's fine.
I realized when I was putting
the
them
other
in
problem
stacks,
is that
that
there's an
that's
assumption in this limited audits that errors are evenly distributed. That's why you
Okay,
can't
so what
just
number?
check the machine count.
At least with risk limiting
So
audits,
it's
You may have
207.
it is specified that they have to have a full report in hand. That's
For the entire
The
election.
problem is you don't know.
Or they don't need it, if they use a polling
If you
audit.
have one tallying machine that's saying, screwing up every 10th ballot.
So this is the
That's not a
county of
random
Los
distribution.
Angeles
That's
conducting
this batch here.
a,
And the risk
theater
limiting
here,
audit is designed
doing
to
audit.
only.
425.
Or because you
425.
can't produce the
Errors
report
are
in
evenly
advance.
distributed throughout the site.
Chris, do you want to choose?
Oh, sure. This is easier, much easier than explaining risk limiting audits. There's a problem.
Take one single ticket.
You know, after asking them for the report,
One
you
ticket.
produce
This is
it.
the last 3 digits.
530.
530, 530.
And now that they're going to vote, they don't have the precinct by precinct report. They're opening boxes.
It's gonna still be
Do you
very.
want to, sir, Harvey, do you want to select?
That's a very technical.
You wanna pull a number?
It's a
That's what
controversial
the-
process.
we do.
It's much more
475.
475.
And he says, when you got the machine, you can't
They
use
choose,
it.
they're choosing the ballots.
It's not- it's not-
People here don't realize that.
Yeah,
Choosing these people to work with voters.
My father was responsible for the randomness of the
Seven.
It means nothing, because they can't produce the report.
what's it called?
Risk limiting audits, in theory, are okay, but.
I'm objecting as a member of the public to this whole process. You can't produce a
It's
report.
the last
Did you
digit.
stir it? Did you stir it?
4026.
So 026.
They don't
But
care.
it,
026.
If the law doesn't force them to do something.
2, 4, 5, need 2 more, so.
He's ready.
Nothing to proceed.
And they go on with the theater. All the theater of choosing it, rolling out the sleeve. This is just to make it look like they're doing something that's correct.
So it's the last 3 digits.
143.
1, 4.
And we're gonna select one more, the last one.
you're going to treat us to lunch, right?
Definitely.
Phil will. He has a black card.
150.
And then that stack of paper back there that usually is a report of the.
Can I read it for you, since you have the tickets, and you will see if I put the correct
That's
number.
awesome though.
207,
Correct.
425,
Correct.
530,
Correct.
475,
Correct.
026,
Correct.
143,
Correct.
150.
Correct.
Okay.
Those are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
So, we had us go to a
Do
training.
you have all the numbers? You
Yeah, I
want to
do.
put them
As
again?
much as
Okay.
I've read.
So we're gonna do the red box?
You want one more time? Want me to read the numbers? Do you want me to read the numbers one more time? Yeah, here we go.
How many total,
I'm just writing
how many
these
total
down.
badges?
The normal process is.
It's okay. You got used to it.
656. But we start from the
Where's
zero,
the
number
cross?
0 all the way to 655. So
Yes.
And 1% of that is 6.56, so we're gonna pick 7 batches.
The only thing we would need is,
It would be good if you had the
like
report.
he was saying, like.
Alright, so I need some witnesses to sign off.
For the selected
The
ones?
selected ones, so the selected one, we're gonna save it in this box, and then these we'll put in the unselected box,
So
and we'll store them.
that and location wise as well.
I mean,
So I'm gonna try to explain to
sign on this
somebody
one,
like
right,
secretary.
for unselected?
This is not explicitly in the law that you're supposed to generate the report, and I guess if it's not there, they can't just bring it in.
Yes, because the box is big, we want to seal it properly.
Well,
Or
it
really
means
20% turnout means it's a lower
20%
turnout to
there
the
and there, okay. That really helps us out, so it doesn't help the
We
voting
need 2 more
population, of
signers.
course,
Yeah,
but
and
the
3 signers
whole
in
point of
total.
California is to spur more voter participation.
So this one is for the unselected, the selected tickets.
So,
We're gonna basically cover them up and seal it off with the seal.
but it's still like balance.
Just to correct the most crucial part I'm not quite necessarily understanding is that it takes a lot of work to get a batch
Yeah.
report from the
And
new
we're also
system.
interested for the unselected, which we'll store.
And that's because
So a
of
lot of data,
format.
yeah, they have to pull for each.
One more.
They said there's a lot of data per box.
Doesn't the computer do that?
Every box has the same probability of
Um,
having any contest on
Kevin,
it.
would you,
So it's
would
not
you
like
like to sign
precincts
first?
where you have to
Let's
describe.
go sign.
Thank you.
You don't need to sign.
Never mind, you missed.
Oh.
You sign the next batch.
We're doing the,
Vote by mail.
it's the public part,
Okay.
for the public.
So let's go ahead and put the selected one first.
Mhm.
You go ahead and do
So
that.
in any batch of 1,000, all the contests will be present,
That's correct,
or maybe a few not present, but it
correct,
doesn't really matter. So you have to have formatting for all the contests.
that's right.
So for one batch, or for reporting 6, or reporting all 656, you still have to do that work.
Yep.
Yes, I think the same amount of work, other than whatever the computer does,
Mhm.
adding up the results from the specific cast vote records.
Mhm.
So I don't think it would be extra work to do all
This
the
one is sealed?
significant amount of extra work to do all the batches.
That one?
Yeah, that's me.
You mean like for them to pull the data?
To report the data.
They said per box, it takes like a certain
Again,
amount of
friends,
hours.
this is all this theater.
If you multiply that per.
If there
Yes.
So the question is why,
Ballots that they
why we
choose.
like to ask why there's $6 for
That's what they told me, it's pulling the data because it's like pulling
in Los
a single
Angeles,
election
you have
of
a
all the
worthless
contests for
audit
each
of the
box, so
election.
each time, so
Something
if it
is up
does
here.
box one,
But
it's
they
pulling
won't
the entire
produce the
results
report.
from every
The
single
reviews
one of
happen,
those.
and there's no good reason for that.
All of them,
Yes.
all
Make this
computers
report
into the box,
easily,
that
okay,
data
yet the reviews
is so
are
large that
because
it
they know
takes
that,
that
you know,
long,
say make
that
this
they
report,
couldn't
they
do
can't change the
the
results.
entire
Guess
election,
you're gonna do.
each
So we've got
box,
to get
so they're only
this
doing
law
that.
changed.
that would trigger the requirements to possibly do one box.
ahead of time.
If it's possible to do one box,
And
it should be
Well, it's
possible
possible
to
to
do
do one box, because we'll
Yeah.
do the 6 boxes, but they
As it
won't
is
all
now.
come at the same time.
unless you're really.
They're not gonna
know
do
that
6
you're gonna do
boxes
recording events.
or 10 boxes at
You
the
will
same
watch
time.
this and think,
Right,
oh,
don't
geez,
do that.
look at all the
And they
seals
will
they're putting
provide
on this.
boxes, you can use them for
This is all just
Support,
worthless.
and then
the
pull
theater.
the,
We didn't get
uh,
that.
the boxes from
running low on
the tablet.
On these.
Yeah,
so
we're
then
doing
we're
that,
doing
all the
that.
seals and stuff looks like.
This report is just the sum of the cast vote records
Then when I
for the
asked them
1,000
for
ballots.
the report,
That's what it takes. A lot of columns, because that's how many contest choices there are in the election.
he's doing a better job than I am.
10,000, whatever it is.
Okay, this start from
Probably less
the
than
the lowest number first.
columns. So there's 1,000 rows, and then where there is actually a contest on that
Yeah,
ballot, there could be a vote or not a vote. And those are ones and zeros.
Yes.
And at the bottom, the spreadsheet can just sum, and that's the batch tabulation for that particular batch. And that's a computer operation, nobody's gonna do that.
Okay, so we just hold
It's
that one.
not gonna be by hand.
So that one's in order?
Yes, you
Okay,
can.
so for this one, it's gonna be the vote by mail batches,
Hash marks,
and this is,
and that is slow.
How many?
it's gonna be, it's 1,332. So, and this one will start from 001.
Tabulating spreadsheet.
So we go from 001 all the way to 1332.
Yeah.
Okay,
And then if you want to present.
so we're gonna do the same, but we go to 100.
You still have to have.
Don't put them on this, yeah, where you have.
Contests, as we do the hand tally, same thing, you must have a huge, if you're tallying on paper, you have a huge piece of paper, right?
It's a huge piece of paper for every contest.
Including for each, some of the contests have a lot of choices.
A lot of choices.
You can take it and run all the way to the front.
That's
For
right.
one
You don't-
contest.
No one really asks
You
me.
don't have to print it out.
You have a
print out
tape
all
over
the
there?
batches.
No,
You just give me a
it should be extra one.
I'm sorry, what?
You just give it.
We
to
have
me.
it, yes. Let me put this one, since I have it in my hand.
How they're pulling the data from every single one of those, for every contest, or every measure.
I know it sounds complex, but that's just meaningless. The computers are good at that. They can pull all the contests over in the blink of an eye. So really, the idea that it's difficult is really not true. I'm a computer person, I know that it can be done.
But it's not her department to do it, so
It's
it's
not.
somebody else is trying to do it.
But that's why I'm trying to get the
They're telling
answer.
her it's very difficult to do. That's what they're telling her.
But this is a new
Address it
voting
with them.
system, and so I don't think, it used to be that they had to rely upon some other group to do it, and so then I think the excuse may be valid.
I know the other group is over there in the other building, talked to a couple of them, so.
So you've already
They
got
haven't-
them over there?
I've been over there and seen it, and I talked to one of the developers who came outside to take a break. Yes. But, yeah, there's things about it I don't understand yet. But I'm sure that if you can get passport records, then this report can be made. It won't be beautiful, but it
No,
can be
this
made.
is what
It's
I-
probably about as beautiful as you use. I'm sure it's not so beautiful either from the
We
hand
don't,
tally, right?
we don't actually get like a report. All we get is these, we create the future tally sheets
Right.
that have the names
That's
on
what I
it
do.
and no results.
And you fill them in.
Somebody has another tally sheet that has the computer result that they have to compare with.
They don't have a tally sheet.
No, not tally sheet, a
Maybe
report
report sheet for the
that
batches
says-
that are being compared.
that says whether that tally is right or not. But otherwise, what are you gonna compare with?
Right, and that's what we were talking about, the time it takes for that information to be loaded per batch for us to be able to input in what were the manual tally versus what was the machine. So that
Yeah, I
would be
think
not
it's-
me, but,
Right. It's very
But
addressable
it
with the
takes
people
time.
who report from the tally system. I'm sure.
right.
Okay, so,
And I think it's too early the day after election night to be asking for even a digital report.
they
Just
shouldn't be
because
doing
it's
this.
doing too soon. Yeah, this is
This
happening.
is,
too
this, they
soon.
used to be able to do this at this time, but now they can't even make a report. And so it's really a very bad
So
process.
1001?
And, it started 2 hours late. We were up here on time, the doors didn't open, and then they wouldn't delay it at all, even just to get the basic report, that those sheets in the corner are not the basic.
Excuse me, Mayor.
So I will be complaining as much as I can to the Secretary of State and so forth about this process.
This will be the last long.
Apparently, we need to pass laws that if you don't follow them, you go to jail, because otherwise people are uncooperative. They won't make a report, even if you ask for it. You gotta have it, so if you don't make the report, you go to jail.
Okay, so this will be the last one, so it'll be
That's
32,
right.
1332,
Yes,
1332, correct?
Right.
What is it?
31, 32.
Thank you.
32 is right here. 1332.
So what is this group of coupons this time? We had a first group, but what was that?
Yeah, we're gonna check that.
That
This
was
is the vote by
DMV.
mail.
This is vote by mail.
Okay, is it excellent?
Yes.
And again, people, it looks good, putting all these things out here. And you go over there and look at the numbers and so forth and draw them. Without a report ahead of time,
These are harder to see
this is just.
because they're sized.
Oh, yeah, it's
Because they
very
could
good.
change
So
the
there's
in the or any batches at the end of because we don't.
Next time we're going to calculate it.
So what they need to do in Los Angeles is delay this process until they can produce a report. All they have right now is how many total boxes they might be totaling up. So question, is this the only the early vote by mail ballots? They came in before election night.
Correct.
Okay, so this doesn't include the regular.
Is there a point in time where it was cut off? Or how-
They told me, I think that they stopped running them yesterday morning on Tuesday, because then they had to stop so that they can begin, to change the machines over to all the BMD ballots that came in. So they stopped the vote by mail yesterday morning, and then it was ready for all the election night ballots for the BMD.
And does this have to wait until all the BMD batches have been scanned, so you know how many?
You know what, for tally, I don't know how they're doing that. I know sometimes they're running some machines, there's 20 of them. They're running some machines with VBM and then some with BMD, but they can't run
Do you
BMD
think they've
and
run-
VBM on one
Have they
machine.
run all the BMD ones?
Yeah, my understanding is that they've ran all of the BMD ones, yes.
Was there any chance you were waiting for the finish?
No, we were just waiting for what the final box number was. They were here until 6 or 7 this morning from last night, still running ballots. So us getting a hold of them to say, can we get the number of boxes that were
So
actually
you
issued?
have to wait for that?
We have to wait for them to tell us.
Right.
So they have to do some reporting over there on some manifest saying this was the last number that they did, so they
So
gave us
this
the
can't
range.
actually happen until
We
those
know the
ballots
total
have been
number.
tabulated and you know how many
That
boxes.
is correct. Mhm.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and then they emailed and posted the bulletin that shows what the total number of ballots were from the election. So the total number of ballots cast, and it'll say the vote at polls, and it'll say VBM. But the VBM is the only one that's tricky, because with VBM, you know you can have between 2 and 5 cards.
I'm gonna go get my
So-
reader, so I'll be right back.
Really, it's fine.
It could be 5. Mhm. Yeah.
Two, no. Well, most of I saw were two.
If it's a
Or
different
two or
language,
three.
because it was in English. If it's in another language, then it pushes the cards in the contest to the next card. Yeah, depending on the language.
And that means, by the way, a great complexity, which is that the Castle records aren't lining up in contests.
Correct,
So some contests will be on some Castle records, some on other Castle records.
that's correct. And we had 12 languages.
So when you have to add the Castle records across between different
Languages.
Castle records,
That's
between
right.
languages, in order to be able to have the total that you match up to.
That is correct.
To the bank account.
And then with this election, because it's a primary, we're gonna have, that other complexity, which is this biparty as well. So it's not just presidential, it's the Dem, AI, Libertarian, Republican. So all of those contests, it's a different contest sheet as well.
So we said 2 to 5, is that pages, that's physical piece of paper or
Cards.
size? It's cards.
Cards,
So that's 4 or 10 sides.
yes, pages. Correct. So with the VBM, what I do is we do an estimated number. Sometimes we'll do the total number it says that VBM returns, and I'll do ×3. So that gives me the average number of ballot cards, and it should match the number of boxes closely and estimated. So, but they gave us the range.
Right. And also, you can't really take the number of cards and match it up to the number of voters
Not with
until
VBM.
you've multiplied by
That's correct.
the number of cards they had on their style,
And then they could
Plus or
have returned
minus.
only one.
plus or minus.
It could have been someone who only
Minus
returned one,
Right.
only returned 2.
And so that's why the rest of the world, by the way, outside of Los Angeles, is trying to actually make all those numbers match. And it's actually a huge load on the election officials to do it. And the way they try to do it is by taking, when they do the opening, if they're missing a card, they will create a fake card and put it in order for the voting system to count the correct number of cards for that style.
Wow.
And then they can match up and they look for discrepancies between the number of cards and the number of voters.
Wow.
And that's what happens in Colorado, and I'm trying to talk them out of it.
That
LA
sounds
is a
like-
good example of why not to do it. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, that's,
Fortunately, we don't have a lot of multiple, 2 languages, or they have, and
We
they
have
they try
12.
really hard to be on one card.
yeah,
And the election officials just fight to squeeze the fonts down to try to get onto one card. But there's huge advantages actually to having multiple cards if you lay out your ballot effectively.
yeah. And we can't have the font so much, or whatever the size is, because of the state requirements as well. So,
Right. And the
it's
state
the same.
requirements won't pay attention to this problem. That's kind
No,
of true in Colorado.
they need
for sure.
it to be larger, right.
Yeah. So
Complex.
Who at the tally department is the person to talk to about the time it takes them to make the report?
I'm not sure, but I think there they would know. They do have people going there that want to observe the process at what they call the TOC, the Tally Operations Center. So I'm not sure who they're gonna have as the spokesperson, but they can explain better the amount of time. So I have just that it's a lot of data, and we're not providing anything except for blank everything. All we do is
This
just
is all
tally
this exercise you
with
commented about a
the
couple
official
of
ballots
years
that will be
ago.
in the box. So we have the
Yeah.
physical ballots with the blank sheet, and that's the extent of our operation here as far as tallying.
15 years.
So as far as you know, the
Since
tallies
2005.
haven't even done except you know how many boxes there are.
That is correct.
The public.
And actually,
Now there are a few more public.
yeah, and there's a lot of tabulation to be done because the rest of them by mail, right? Which
Yes,
Which
vote by
doesn't get
mail,
into this
there were a few
process.
provisionals that were done, so those don't get ran through the system.
Yeah, is that all the provisionals? There's some were handled before election night,
They have not ran any provisionals through the system.
so it's around 80,000.
Oh,
And she started doing.
Really, someone
Yeah.
told me 4, you must tell me. You're killing me.
Yes,
Someone said there's only 4,000, I go,
I
really?
thought the process was different.
You just said 80, that's frightening.
Yeah, I saw them actually.
No,
It was hardly a clue. That was-
no. Timmy, he says that someone told him there's 80,000
It was
provisionals.
actually, it was the right person too. What's her name? Sorry.
Timmy told me 4, he was trying to get my hopes up.
I heard it was 4.
Yes, that's what I asked and Olivia told me.
I don't know, you see how rumors start?
Tiffany.
No, Tiffany. Oh
She's the
my
right
gosh,
person, right? Unfortunately.
she is the right person, she's
So
exactly the right
maybe
person.
80 then.
80?
If you come from Tiffany.
See, I knew it. They were trying to like get my hopes up. We don't want that. We want people to be able to vote.
Someday registration, in theory, you get down to almost no provisions.
You would think
I
so.
didn't even set up the table.
They told me 0, but you know,
Maybe
again,
you want a table and
However, there were
Chairs.
things like somebody showed us going
$80,000.
they hadn't. So
Oh,
the only way
yes.
they could solve that was with provisional, that was happening. So there were glitches that
Four
were causing that.
4,500, that's what she told me.
yeah.
yeah, but it was coming from Tiffany saying
Yeah, 80,000.
Well, we really want people to be able to vote while they're there at the vote center. But yeah, like you're saying, there's just some things that are just unavoidable, especially when you're rolling through the system, so.
I know.
Yeah,
this
that's what
place, one of the
they said
provisionals
too.
is caregiver for my dad. She watched us take my dad to vote, and she asked me, you know, can I vote? And I said, yeah, why not? We live in San Diego County, yes.
Yes.
Do you live, are we near a polling place? No, we're not, we're not even near a vote
Altogether,
center.
7,000 for.
Yeah, this was San Diego, so
San
it's
Diego.
a slightly different situation, but anyway, so I said, yeah, go vote provisional, and she did, but it wasn't here. But
Yeah.
it could have happened here.
It could have happened.
Yes, not only the voting.
It wouldn't be slightly different because if she was close enough to the vote center, she could have voted on a regular ballot because if she
It
was in
doesn't
county,
matter.
she was in county.
Mhm. Yeah, that's what we were hoping for, especially me.
So, yeah, there should be way fewer provisions.
Come on, keep our fingers crossed for November.
So I don't think the provisions will be out of county, or what will be. the
They
reasons
did
for it?
allow, I want to say that one of the provisions that we had was that if someone did want to vote and they're from out of county, that they didn't want to turn anyone away. So we have something called a write-in paper vote. So if they wanted to write in their selections, of course it would not count because they're not. But we don't tally anyone else's ballots. But if someone wanted to, we don't have that.
And write it, and you write it, and remake somewhere?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, remake here and
Me
in
too.
TLC also.
Yes,
Well, there's
definitely.
BBM remake here.
All those big.
And then we have BMD remake that will start. We are remaking some ballots here, just so that we can keep up, but the operation will be stationed in Denver
registrars who
Yes.
for the BMD remake.
are not allowed.
And then we're doing BBM remake here, and we're doing BBM remake here. We have a space issue, so we have to wait for people to move out of our space before they can set us up, and we can begin to start the cameras.
change the numbers as will
Yeah.
in the computers, and that's what you're like.
Yeah.
Do you know if this whole thing sees a Pitney Bowes sorter here? Or Pitney Bowes?
Especially on
That
You
inside
know
your
what?
department?
It's just,
I
there's
do not believe we use Pitney Bowes anymore. That would be in the BBM operation, of the large sorting machines. I know we used to have one.
Maybe not using it.
And the
They
signature
do have a
verifiers
sorter,
are
but
using
it was
this.
Pitney Bowes.
They're using the sorter to point ballots that need to, envelopes that need to be physically looked at for like the last step of.
We call it outstanding.
Signature
That's correct.
Well, yeah, since they're gonna send us 24,
In the first stage of signature verification, it looks like they're just marking a yellow
Yeah, for
highlight.
provisions, I saw myself, they were separate.
The machine did it right.
So
The machine put the, that's,
Yeah, I know.
machine generated.
instead of using the drop down on the screen,
Alright, so we're gonna go
which
ahead
would
and tear up the
communicate
tickets.
with the sorter.
Guys, now we have only 2 boxes.
I don't know, I mean, that would be the BBM operation, the section owner is Tanya Rivera, so she would better, between her and Ultra, her assistant. Yeah, I know some stuff, but limited stuff about other people's areas. It's large in LA County, so
Yeah, she explained a bunch of things.
it's a lot to
I guess I
absorb.
forgot to ask that. Here on Sunday, but things are a little bit quieter on Sunday.
Yes,
Back there.
So you think there is a sorter?
These are harder.
Yes,
I think
yes.
San Diego's using the same thing.
yes,
Looks like Pitney Bowes.
yeah. I can't remember if it's Pitney
Well,
Bowes.
they changed the name of it.
Oh,
That's why.
maybe that's why, the Pitney Bowes is old school.
Can we have
Yeah.
another couple of boxes?
We use
Or
it
should
for
we just
mail.
make piles?
The thing is like, yeah,
We
we're gonna share it.
With all our red boxes too.
So the DSR.
Yeah, we're not using them.
Recognition or something like that, exactly. But we're not sorting any ballots, because everything is by batch. So they're just only sorting it by, I guess, what everything is.
These are much harder to tear.
Yes.
I know what they're using to store it, by the way, for anonymity purposes, for convention. Having all the styles in a batch would be ideally similar to the contest. And it's also great for using advanced auditing approaches like risk limiting audit, where you want risk limiting audit portion of the audit and not the
Yes,
risk limiting audit for the whole county is pretty straightforward.
yes,
But if you want risk limiting audit, a small portion, you do not want to be sampling from the entire county.
exactly.
That's the reason for sorting, and maybe you'll guys will get back around to, you'll have to sort by precinct, because you can sort by bigger districts, and you still get a big advantage.
Yeah.
I don't know,
You get an advantage from the anonymity.
Yeah, well, when I was doing that, Maria, then the two stick together.
Okay.
So, then, it's a harm because it stays that way in the box.
Okay, so it sticks together. Okay,
That
all
I,
right.
I discovered that, it
Okay.
was taking half of them out of circulation.
Unique precinct.
Yeah, I was doing that too for a while, I realized.
They stick together.
Each precinct can give you that for anonymity purposes, so there wouldn't be a way of.
And even in my hand, to not stack them on top of each
For
other,
example,
you know, in a.
Yeah.
if the batches were all coming from one vote center, and I think it's not necessarily true to get these together.
Did you have more cancer, is that what was going on?
I guess it was really large numbers, more than 1,000 coming from the vote center. It might only have been about. In that case, the voters who came from across the county, and they're the only ones on that style in that box, which is the voter from that place, will get that vote,
But I don't-
that down. And that batch over there.
Have you lost weight or you?
That's actually not good for the price of
But I have to do
Oh, it is a single batch.
That's why.
That's
you're
hard.
sort of-
I just went to the doctor. But 90-year-old. Oh, but you're doing a little bit of time too. They stick together. They stick together, though. Yeah.
It doesn't make sense
then they're in
Associated with the address of
the
the
sort,
voter.
the spinner
The
together.
voter who went to that voter.
I was doing that.
Everybody.
It takes extra time. And even in my hand, make them not stack.
We'll get some better.
See,
I know.
there's a vote from
Yeah,
that.
okay.
That means the voters are voting on it.
Or it would just be like 8 voters, like if
But
there's
as long as he doesn't like.
1,000 voters from, let's say, Norwalk, and then one person from Norwalk.
Because they,
Everyone.
Those before.
somebody wants to.
So you're being.
Yeah.
That's not what I meant at all.
Yeah, you would.
You have to know from the eligibility system on the poll pad, who signed in on that poll pad. That's data that exists in the system somehow. How it's handled, has an effect.
And it's completely inconsistent with how
Because I have things that are,
You know, they should give us that,
Because I,
breast cancer, and I have, you know, some two things on my skin. But I guess we're all,
I went to USC.
which do you find better?
No, the first one they do, I think a lot.
I just think that would be people don't, what people don't want word. You're traveling 30 miles. Most likely.
And you have expert help.
Every day for 45 days.
Wow. When is
Is there
that?
a way to find out along the line, Wes, so you could go to a center but didn't have one?
I would say that's another.
I was looking for Orange County. Orange County was
Yeah.
trying to no lines, and there were some with one finger lines, so you could.
No, I didn't know something, but it wasn't, so I didn't see it, but I just saw it.
You can help too if you want.
Thank you.
But I was hoping that we possibly could, that was something definitely, my dad.
Yeah, I know.
They went to
Is Chris here? Where's Chris? Oh, Chris is keep on keeping on.
where they used to. So it wasn't.
These are harder to tear, so we need.
Thank you. Okay.
They're much harder to tear.
5 minutes to get
You have to fold them. They don't pull apart the way you do.
By the time that you already got, I mean, in front of the line, someone say, there's another one down the street with more.
Pardon? He said that they're going to try to get it better.
I'm sure there were pop-ups, I just heard of pop-ups mobile.
Yes, yes.
977.
Yeah,
They get that.
I heard 977. Yeah, that's what I heard too.
And then a lot like people places. I mean, I really like that. Also, there's
I'm gonna fix that. Cable underneath.
Something good. Always seems to work.
Dr. Calapox gets sealed by CLS.
Yeah.
That'll be a different story for how to find out who we want.
Yeah.
No, we're gonna start selecting after.
Oh, yeah, I mean, send it to me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Colorado elections, 64 counties, so for me, it's straight like every one.
Yeah.
Some of the things I
There's nothing you can. If you stack them, then they're all
Yeah.
together.
When you get down, you start understanding the nuances.
I was seeing when I was
This is
doing
small.
the time and stuff.
In fact, just like having those devices, the DMD is facing opposite directions, the open one, that's a huge.
Now, 1% of this number would be
I'm gonna make it happen. I just tell them.
To share that.
That's a-